Right. So we are now headed into Unit 7. In Unit 7, we're coming to a close now. Just a reminder, just make sure that you are aware we are no longer on 2-week units, but we are on 1-week units now. For the next few units, Unit 7 and Unit 8, we only have 1 week for each of them, just as the timeline was set up. And so all of the work has to be done within that week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, give me a text, shout out to me. I'll try to be on campus sometime over the next couple of weeks just to connect if need be. So anyhow, objectives for Unit 7, be able to explain with relevant scriptures Paul's experiences in ministry in your discussion board and in your timeline. Be able to describe the significant events of Paul's life during his third missionary journey. That'll be part of the timeline. Be able to analyze and discuss the effectiveness of one's own ministry in light of Paul's examples in your discussion board for this unit. Reflect on and evaluate biblically and prayerfully previous ministry experiences, and that'll be part of your journal. Your readings will be Acts 18:23 through 21:16 and 1 Corinthians chapter 4, 9, and 16. You will also be reading Barnett chapters 10 and 11 and Bruce chapter 29. Your assignments, you have lesson 7, then you have your quiz 7, you have your timeline with the third missionary journey, your discussion boards, and then your journal. Your topic will be journaling on ministry experiences that have shaped your sanctification. Sign up for a time to recite your memory verses. We can do that. Just give me a phone call or set it up on Zoom. I do have some availability this week. I have a lot more next week, but feel free to reach out. So let's knock those out. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to, like I said, reach out. I want to be here to help as much as I can. I love reading your discussions and just wrestling with Paul's life. His life is so unique and stands as a testament to what God had called. And in some of your discussion boards, I had shared the story of one of my friends who was going to college, going to U of O. I think he was a business major or an econ major, if I remember right. And he sat down, and then all of a sudden a stranger sat down and told him that God had this journey set out for him. He's like, well, okay. And he finally just said yes. And over the next 7 years, he was in 77 countries, if I remember right. And there'd be times that he'd be in like Israel, and God would say, okay, it's time to go to Singapore. He'd be like, all right, make it happen. And then all of a sudden his phone would ring, and one of his coaches or professors from U of O would call and say, hey, Ethan, I just felt like God called me and said, hey, Ethan needs your help. So I did. And Ethan goes, great. I need a plane ticket from Israel to Singapore. He goes, cool, I'll take care of it. And then all of a sudden, the next day, he's in Singapore. And that was his life for 7 years, and just journeying these missionary journeys. And so he had a very Pauline-esque life, and he experienced much of what Paul experienced, and he could obviously relate to him. And so the unique circumstances of Paul's life are such that they lend to a type of relationship and dependence on God that sometimes I think is missed in alternative or somewhat different circumstances. But nonetheless, that does not mean we cannot draw close to God and and learn to tap into the source on a daily basis. All right, have a great weekend as we head closer to the holidays. I hope you have fabulous Thanksgiving. Need anything? Let me know. Thanks so much. All right.